Hi, I'm Felicia.
And I'm Giancarlo.
This is our preview of
M.I.N.D, the Fall of Paradise. This is two boxes, Mars.
This is Mars, and this is
Earth.
Venus. So it
Earth,
should be the other way around, no? Jupiter and men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
But that's
no, women are from Earth and men are from Mars. That should be
That's
the same.
fine. Sure, that works.
So what happens?
Well, we are. They're more, Mars is the god of, the Roman god of war. So
the Roman god of war?
Yeah, Mars.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought those only Greek gods.
No, well, the Roman gods stole from the Greek gods. Unfortunately.
Nah.
Yeah. Like
Good.
Jupiter.
Good.
Jupiter is.
Stole from them. This is neat. This came like this?
Well, it's a preview, right? Yeah, so they just gave us this. So
Yeah,
these are not the final components.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a preview. Previews are usually not this, like...
Yeah,
they gave us a pill box.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No? And you can paint these if you're one of those people who paint little things.
One of those people who paint little things. We call them miniatures, and they're called painters. Wow.
You see how fast it is? Like
I'm like so offended,
like,
you know?
Like they're called miniatures, and we're painters who paint them.
There was, I don't know
so
if...
we all know what Giancarlo does with his
There was
free time.
a reviewer called Nicholson. I can't remember his first name now. And he said these little dolls, and the board gaming community went ballistic. They're miniatures. They're not little dolls. And this guy was like reputable. I think he stopped doing review videos after that. He's like, I'm out.
He couldn't take the heat.
I gotta tell you, man, some of these geeks. I'm a geek. I'm allowed to say this. So if you don't like it, too bad. But some of us get offended real fast over nothing, like first world problems. M.I.N.D, the Fall of Paradise is a tactical sci-fi strategy game that comes with two playable factions in Earth and Mars. While the foundation is the same for both factions, there are some important differences that make the game asymmetrical, such as different leaders, colonies, scenarios, and superpowers. Let's jump into setup. Choose a game scenario and place it here next to the board. Check what structures are available here and place cards for them under the board. The structures that are not available will have a construction token placed on them. Do the same for the units on the second line and place their tokens with the corresponding structures like so. Now shuffle the progress tokens and place them face down on the progress track. Now we look at the third row to see what we start with. In this case, we start with 3 resources flipped up on the progress track. The shield icon is the amount of fate points we can distribute among the red and green pawns and become enlightened, which flip Bruno to the green side. The next icon says we start with 8 credits, which you can track with the white pawn. The last icon is the amount of flags you have available. Now we go down to the 4th row for resources. The first icon will tell you how many overpower cards you draw from the deck. The second icon is how many equipment cards you draw from the deck. The third icon is the amount of influence we can assign to our cards. The 4th icon tells us how many random bonuses tokens to place on our colony, and the last icon is how much extra health we can allocate. Finally, we look at the sabotage track and add those tokens to our colony. Do the same for setup for the other players if not playing solo. You're now ready for the first round of the game.
The game can last up to 7 rounds. You can track this here with the black pawn. The phase of a round is to advance the round timer. Skip this in the first round. The second phase is to trigger cooldowns, but again this will be skipped in the first round. The third phase of a round is to trigger effect. You have the scenario effects and the timeline effects. The scenario ones will change each round depending on the number of players. You can find these listed on the other side of the scenario board. On a side note, this side also gives you the mission briefing story for that scenario. During the game, you will be able to place events on other players' timelines, and they will need to trigger those events as well when the time marker reaches them. The next phase in the round is to collect rewards. Here you will collect from your research track and from cards. The next phase is to activate structures. To do this, you must send a command token to the card, so that you can do an action from that card. A card can only get one command, so choose wisely. The next phase is to activate citizens, which are the same as with structures, but you spend credits to have them activate. During this step, you can assign equipment cards to your citizens as well.
The next phase is called the War Aftermath. Here, players can pay tribute to the colony and raise their fate track. They can increase both the Fearless and the Enlightened tracks. These will unlock more events and can also give you bonuses like extra defense against intruders or deal extra damage to them. Increasing this track can also give you an achievement, which is how you get closer to winning the game. The second half of this phase is to place events from your progress track onto your colony or another player's colony. Now let's take a look at a colony board. Here is where all the action happens. The sector are active right now, and you can use the structures there to perform actions written on their card. But if you want, you can start construction on a sector to eventually have more structures to give you more actions and gain achievements related to your colony board. Here you will deal with fires, sabotages, leaking structures, invaders, conquerors, and citizens. You will also have to do battles between your citizens and the invaders. This is done using dice and other mechanics. Don't forget to check the equipment they might have. If you look at the bottom of the unit cards, they will show you strength, durability, utility, resistance, and mobility. Basically, to make it simple, you're trying to build your sectors while fending off intruders, disasters, and sabotage.
The goal of the game is to try and gain the most achievements. Here is how to get these achievements. The Builder means you have 5 sectors. Dominator means you have 10 influence. The Seeker means you have 10 faith points total. The Ruler means you have 5 citizens in your colony. And the Researcher means you have 5 researches completed. When playing cooperative, the goal is for both players to gain all 5 achievements by the end of the last round, and when playing competitive, the goal is to gain more achievements than the enemy by the end of the last round.
M.I.N.D is turning out to be a really cool looking game, even though we have the prototype. The minis look awesome, and if there is a stretch goals for the minis, I hope we help them reach those goals. Another nice thing is that it's a co-op, competitive, and has a solo mode to fit any mood. Check out M.I.N.D on Kickstarter, and as always, if you like it, back it. Subscribe now to our channel to stay in the loop. If you like our work, help us continue by sharing the channel to your gaming group. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.